All right, team. We have quite a bit to get through today, so let's go ahead and kick off. So before we get started, I just wanted to say a huge welcome to all of our partners. This is Tech Talks 2021.1, and we do have a couple of housekeeping items for you. So today is meant to be a two-way conversation. We do not just want to talk at you. So we are going to be asking you to do a bit of engagement. So the first thing I'd like all of you to do at the bottom of your screen, if you hover, you will find something called reactions. So I just want you to find the reactions. Once you have found it, give me a thumbs up or a clap to let me know. Even more fun, if you turn on recognize hand gestures and you make a thumbs up, you will actually be able to give a magic thumbs up. So go ahead and take 30 seconds. Great job, Mark. And find your reactions. Great. I can see quite a few of you finding your reactions and really enjoying those recognized hand gestures. The next thing I want you to do is to find the participant panel. So again, if you hover at the bottom of your screen, you'll find the participant panel. And this is important for two reasons. One, you can raise your hand like M. Berger has just done, and that's a great way to let us know that you have a question. Or you can also find the mute button. So you can mute and unmute yourself. So go ahead and don't unmute yourself, but if you want to just go ahead and test the raise hand, this lets us know that if you have a question. Great job, Christian, Mark. Oh, you guys are virtual engagement experts. Well done, well done. All right, so we also are going to have Q&A throughout today. So you will find the chat box. Okay, so please find your chat box. And to make sure you found it, let us know where you're dialing in from. So say hello from London, from Rome, Paris, wherever you might be. Go ahead and type in the chat. Wonderful. Great. Stockholm, Rotterdam, Moscow, what, Brussels? Wow, all over. Wonderful. Thank you. All right, so as we go through our different demos, all of you can ask as many questions as you want here in the chat, and we will do our absolute best to answer them. If we do not answer your question today, we will get back to you in our Tableau Partner Technical Community Group on LinkedIn. So I'm going to go ahead and post a link to this private group. If you're a Tableau partner and you're not currently in the group, I would highly encourage you to attend. We give all types of previews, we ask questions, we answer questions, and it's just another great way to extend our community. So now that we've gone through our housekeeping, let's go ahead and talk about what it is we're going to cover today, because there is a lot of content in 2021.1. But today, we want to focus in on some of the new products and features that we think are going to be most interesting to you as a partner, and ultimately to help you get these into the hands of your customers even faster. The first thing we're going to look at is in product extensions gallery, and that's going to include the new unified authorization experience and the extensions gallery. Then we're going to go ahead and look at our native quick LOD functionality and some enhanced connectivity with Azure. Then we have Einstein Discovery, a hugely hot topic, and we're getting back to basics here. What is it? Where does it come from? What does it do? And why are we bringing it into the Tableau environment? Also with Einstein Discovery and Tableau, we're going to talk about how it is known as Tableau CRM. Then we're going to close out the day with data catalog updates, including some automated data quality warnings and some data catalog search. So after each one of our presenters showcases what the new offering does, we're going to pause and take some questions. So again, as you have them, please type them in the chat, or when I ask you to, you can raise your hand, which you're all so good at doing now. I will unmute you and you can ask your question live. All right, team, let's go ahead and kick it off with your first speaker. May I introduce Christian Silva. So Christian, would you like to introduce yourself properly?
Sure, thank you, Amelia. I don't have any, social media presence, so I don't have a lot of pictures of myself. So, just to make it quickly, that's the best picture I found about what a Mexican British looks like. And well, at home, we speak a variety of languages, such as Russian, Spanish, and British. So I have worked in the industry for 15 years. My hobbies are, code, do coding when I'm not working. And I am a musician wannabe. So that picture there was the last time I was on stage. Of course, I was not one of those because that's the closing band. I mean, everyone that has gone um, to a music festival knows that the first bands, they don't get that many people. But I mean, I had the chance to be in one of those. So yeah, that was me. Of course, I mean, I work as a solution engineer in Tableau for the last couple of years, and I'm very happy to be here today.
Amazing. I feel like I know so much more about you already, Christian. Thanks so much. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, get out of PowerPoint, and let's get right into the platform.
Awesome. Right. So, let me see if you can see my screen.
Looks good.
All right. So, thank you. Today, I'm going to give you, I'm going to go through the first two topics that Amelia mentioned at the beginning, and those are the little things that make Tableau so special, right? So first of all, what I'm showing you here is a dashboard that's showing me like my KPIs. It's showing me the my team performance, and of course, everyone knows, and I hope everyone knows that we can all create metrics, right? We can create a metric from our dashboard, and now that I actually look at this dashboard, I can see what other metrics have been created, before, so I don't duplicate the metric that I have, and for example, of course, I can keep creating more metrics, right? So this is one of those, like very little things that make life much easier, that we all love about Tableau, right? But in terms of that authoring unified experience, everyone, I think we all are very used to work to look at our phones and consume our information there, and Tableau is not the exception, right? And we can still see how our dashboards are going to look like looking at the device layouts, right? Every person with the platform could see how this dashboard is going to look like when consuming it on a tablet, on a phone. But if I go to edit mode, because I want to actually take a look at this dashboard, after looking at that mobile layout, I can see that now I can see I have access to modify those device layouts right on the web. And here I have the same experience that I have when authoring my dashboard. For example, being honest, I really don't want my mobile users to take a look at this sales team performance report, because I'm going to bring new insights later while looking at my data. And of course, I can actually edit the titles of my parameters, so it actually they fit better on screen. And of course, from the left-hand side, I can actually, of course, regroup, because to me it makes more sense that I start with the week of date closed, and I can actually bring more elements into this mobile design. So now, if I am on the web, I'm actually I can do these very quick tweaks on the web without going away from the from my flow, right? And now that I look at this dashboard, and of course, this phone layouts, which I can actually see the same device previews that I could see on the desktop, such as changing for which phone I'm going to be consuming it. I can see that this dashboard, of course, hasn't been changed at all. This was just the phone view, but I want to bring more information into this visualization, and I want to see information per products that I'm actually selling, right? So I want to not only see the sales, what's the performance of my sellers, but I would like to show the product sales by category and so on. And when I look at this data, this data doesn't give me that detail. That data lives somewhere else. So from the web, I can actually, I can connect to more data. And as you can see, as part of the new release, you will see a new connector that you might be able to spot here, which is the Azure Data Lake Storage Generation 2, which is a complete new connector that will allow you to using OAuth will allow you to bring your own blobs, your own blob storage into your views. We have also oops, I just closed it. We have also introduced more and more connectivity improvements into the Azure stack, such as for example, Databricks. Now we can actually have the Azure Active Directory authentication, and this is something that customers and you know very well, partners that we're looking to actually have that integrated security and take and leverage all the all the benefits of being on the cloud, right? And my data actually lives on the Azure Synapse Analytics. So I'm going to connect to my database, and I'm going to use that Azure Active Directory authentication, which is actually brand new. So as you can see here, same as with the Azure Data Lake Generation 2, I can pick my Azure AD account. And right now, Pablo is making the connection to that Azure, to that Synapse, and I'm going to pick my data. And my data, of course, is the data at the level of, it's where I can see my orders, right? That's where I can see my products. So I can actually bring it into my dashboard. So as you can see here, well, I have a full awesome experience as you already know, and I'm actually connecting live to that to that Azure Synapse data warehouse, and of course I'm doing it using my Azure AD. And here, but well, I can do the same that I will do with my data model. So I'm going to create a quick hierarchy, and I want to see my data by product category, subcategory, so I can actually see my sales for my different products. I'm going to keep only the furniture in this particular case, and then I'm going to drill down, and I'm going to show how much sales we have, for chairs, for tables, and if I keep drilling down, you all note, well, as we can see here, we are actually looking at the product level of sales, right? But what I'm looking for is that I would like to see side by side how much my total sales by subcategory mean, right? So if I go one step before, I would like to see it, not these totals of 1.8 million side by side, so I can actually have a reference of how much I'm selling into for every product, and how much each of my products are representing on that subcategory. And we can achieve that by doing a level of detail, a level of detail calculation, right? And going to be honest with you, every time I need to write a level of detail, I need to go to the Tableau community forums and check the syntax and take a look at it. But now we're making it simpler to for everyone, all those data rock stars, doing the level of detail by just, for example, selecting the measure that I'm looking for and the level of detail that I want to see my data from. In this case, is the subcategory. I'm going to right click, then create LOD calculation, and just like that, the Tableau created that LOD for me that I can now simply reuse. And now I can see it, that's side by side. I can see it, how much actually of it is representing the subcategory and the category, right? I'm going to bring this visualization into my dashboard by just I'm going to just swap the sheets. Now I can see it here. I'm going to bring it a better title than this, and then sales by products. And what I also want to do here is that I have an extension that I would like to use as part of my dashboard, right? So what I'm going to do here is that I want to bring my extensions, and I'm just going to drag and drop. Drop it, and right now, as you can see, the extension is a complete new experience when we would like to add an extension, right? So in here I can see I can browse within the product all the extensions that we have. I can see which ones are sandboxed, non-sandboxed. We are also making extensions available in Tableau Public. So you can see, you can filter for which ones are going to be available on this first release for Tableau Public. And of course, I can actually search by category, by categories such as newbies type, and take a look at which, which of my extensions would look like. And I can see that some of you have spotted this little guy here. Rachel is going to talk about more about it, but just to finalize the flow for you to see what is the experience. For example, if I bring, I don't know, show me more, every user within every creator or will be able to bring the extension on the dashboard just by doing that. And what is the value of doing this? The value is that that actually makes the experience much easier, which brings adoption up. It actually allows every analyst to find more extensions, and of course, it's much frictionless, right? So you don't need to download the extension to actually make it work, right? So it actually gets downloaded. It gets part of the flow, and the flow doesn't get truncated by bringing, for example, a T-Rex file. And yeah, just to recap, what we saw here, we saw how to create. Well, you'll see that now the metrics are part of the dashboards, and you saw the new Azure connectors for Data Lake and the new Azure authentication capabilities, and how to do this on the web. And we did a quick LOD by selecting the cells, the measure and level of detail, and finally we show how to create how the new extensions gallery in products. And that's me from this demo. Let's see what the Q&A.
Wow, I love it. Short, sweet, and to the point. Thank you so much, Christian. Okay, partners, now it is your turn. You have a ton of experts on the call. So if you would like to ask a question, you can do so in the chat, or if you would like to raise your hand, which you all showed me how well you know how to do, you can actually unmute and ask yourself. So I'm going to give everyone a solid 10 seconds of silence to see if we have anyone who'd like to ask a question live before I go to the chat. All right, Christian, looks like we are going straight to the chat today. So yeah. I'm going to start with the question that I think is the most fun. What is your favorite extension to showcase and why?
Interesting. I really like the Show Me More extension to showcase when I can. I mean, because this really shows how creative our partners can be and how much the framework allows Tableau to be extended. And yeah, and that's, I would say, personally, of course, I'm saying that's the best one. That's the one I like to showcase.
Okay, great. So the next question I have is around LODs. So the question is, will this work with any LOD?
That's a good question. By default, the quick LOD creates the fixed LOD, but as you could see, when I was doing it, what Tableau actually puts in front of you is that new calculations pane that you can edit as well, right? So I just took the default one because that's what I needed, but you can change that calculation to, instead of fixed, you can do exclude or type include depending on your needs.
Nice. I love a good LOD. Rachel and I are on the same page thinking they're cool. Okay, the last question I have for you is, for the extensions, can we develop an extension and have it listed there? Or if they already have one, how can they make it appear in that list?
That's a really good question. So everyone can develop their extensions. I will put on the chat the link to our developer a developer program where you can see the SDK for extensions. And Mark or Rachel, correct me if I'm wrong, but everyone can submit their extension to be approved to appear in the gallery, right? I think it's Keisha, the one that approves.
Mark says thumbs up. I love a good reaction.
Correct.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah. Awesome.
Sorry, Christian, I lied to you. One final question.
Yeah.
Can you nest LODs in QuickLOD?
We knew that was going to happen, and yes, I mean I just tried it just because we knew that was going to happen, and yes, you can nest the LODs if you would like to do the same. Let me just share very quickly my screen so people can see that.
Great.
In this particular case, let me just show this. Essentially, what you will do is that you create the first LOD that I have here, and then you can select your second, let's say, level of detail or your second dimension, and you can do exactly the same. And as I was telling you, Tableau will give you that fixed for the sum, and you can change that. So you can do those nested LODs, following the same approach.
Great. Thank you so much. Partners, can we give Christian a virtual round of applause? Thank you so much. That was great. I love how straight and direct that was. Amazing. All right, so let's go ahead and introduce our next presenter, who is going to be talking about a topic that I know is hot for so many of you. And I would love to ask to unmute and introduce Rachel Costa. Rachel?
Thanks, Amelia. So quick intro before we go directly to the topic. I'm Rachel. Some of you already know me from the partner side, because before joining Tableau in 2019, I was from one of the partners. Funny fact about my life, I used to be a journalist, worked for a long time in journalism in Brazil. And then I did a career change and ended up here. I'm also co-lead for Data Plus Women, currently organizing the group here in the Netherlands and the group in Latam. So for those that speak Portuguese, Spanish, or English, you're all welcome to follow our events. Can be in English in the Netherlands or Spanish, Portuguese, and the Latin one. And also the other funny fact is, if you use Tableau online, you probably have seen something that I developed, because the dashboard quick starters, some of them they are developed by me. So that said, I think that it's time to share screens, change, and go to the action, right?
All right, let's do it.
So let's go to screen share. I hope you're all seeing my beautiful first screen. So what we have here, and I will start with a slide just to do a quick intro in what we will see. We're talking about Einstein discovery. And for those of you that are familiar to Tableau, but not necessarily familiar to Salesforce, Einstein discovery was part of what we used to call Einstein Analytics. So this little bit here, Einstein Analytics, that was now renamed to Tableau CRM. And what we're doing now is Einstein Discovery. It's the artificial intelligence management framework that is contained in Tableau CRM. And what we're doing now is we're bringing it to the full platform. So we start to see it and be able to use it also in our usual Tableau. So Tableau Desktop, Tableau Prep. And just to give an idea, as I said, for those of you that haven't seen it before, we will start by the beginning. So let's start by seeing Einstein in its natural environment. So Einstein discovering its natural environment, that is Salesforce. If we come here, you see that we are in one of the opportunities. So we're seeing an opportunity. And this little box, Einstein predicts, this is Einstein Discovery. And what Einstein Discovery does in the Salesforce platform, it will get your past data and help you to predict your likelihood to be successful in the future. So in this case, what we have here is, as we're in an opportunity, of course, the idea when we're working with an opportunity is to close and win the opportunity, right? So Einstein Discovery here is doing predictions to help the people to understand how to be more successful, to increase the possibilities of close it and win this opportunity. So as you can see, it's saying here, for instance, green up are the things that will be in your favor, red down are the things that are negative. And here there are some tips about how to improve. So for instance, if you see here, if you set the color to black, you have more chance to sell the product than if it's blue. So you can maybe contact your customer and check if it really would like a blue one or a black one. And if you see here, what happens is every time that you act in something that is suggested here, so let's do this one. Instead of blue, I will change the color product, I will save. You see that Einstein now will recalculate everything. It's live, it's doing a recalculation of the probability, and will show new results here. So this is how it works, Einstein Discovery in Salesforce. And where it comes from? Well, it comes from here. I will show you now the model before moving to Tableau, how the model works in the background. If we go here, you see that this model that we were seeing in the Salesforce interface, this is how the model was created and what is part of it. So if you come here in this side, you can see that those are the variables that we're using to calculate the model. So we can see the correlation between them. And for instance, the model of the variable model is one of the most important in this model. And we can also, for instance, here, if you go down, we can understand a bit the impact of each one of those variables in the general model. Just as an example, so we were talking about the color, right? So if you have a look, for instance, in the impact of color, we can see here, so we're getting the black and we can compare it to blue. That is the example that we saw before. And we can see here, for instance, how those two colors, how, for instance, we do have much more success when they're selling something in black than when they're selling in blue. So this green that is going up shows that it's doing better than the other color. And we can also, of course, we can check your model because the model is calculated automatically. You don't need to kind of be here doing rock science. And you can understand what is behind it. So understand, for instance, if the accuracy of your model and check what you're using to calculate it. So in this case, for instance, we can see that this model here, it comes from 5,000 rows of closed lost opportunities and 4.21 opportunities. So this is what we're using to create the prediction. So this is how it works in the Tableau CRM side. Now, if we would like to reuse this model in Tableau, and this is what we'll see now. So at the moment, we do have two ways to bring it in. And those two ways are we can use an analytics extension or a dashboard extension. And we'll have a quick look in both of them here today. So starting here, we have a very normal dashboard, right? Tableau as we're used to. We're getting data and analyzing it. So I have here my contracts per each one of those countries. I'm talking here about deliveries that are booked on my system. So in this case, as you see, I'm using another type of data, not data from Salesforce. So I have here the deliveries that are booked on my system. I can see the countries that I have more contracts already. So for instance, Finland is one of them. If I click here, I can interact, filter the rest of my dashboard. I have the second chart that is showing where I'm delivering to. And I have this one here showing the transporters that I'm using. It's all good. But And if I would like to understand, for instance, all those deliveries that I have scheduled and booked on my system, what is the probability of them being successful? So of them being on time? If I would like to change my dashboard to answer this question, now I can use Einstein Analytics. So what I can do is the same way that you use for instance, you can connect to predictive models in Python or in R. You can now bring in Einstein Discovery into Tableau. So you come here to help. And then if you go to settings and performance and manage analytics extension connection, you see that one of the options is Einstein Discovery. So here I'm connected. If I have a look here, it's showing that it's enabled. And once it is enabled, I can start to bring in my predictions and use it as a normal pill on my visualizations. So I have here this calculation. I will open it so you can have a look. And what this calculation here is doing basically is it's connecting to my model and bringing in the model into my data set. So it will use the model that is there, an Einstein Discovery created model, and it will bring it on my Tableau data set and it will score my rows. And what it does in real life, so if I get here now, my new pill, my calculation, I can use it together with my past analysis. So I would like to have a look in how my countries are. So I would like to understand which ones are doing well and which ones are doing better. And nice, because I just got an error. So I will just stop sharing for 1 second and reconnect it. You keep everyone with me. Don't go away. It will come back. And while I am restarting everything, I can explain. So what we will do is we will get first the analytic extension, and then after we'll get the dashboard one. And in both cases, we will be doing kind of the same. That is bringing in a model that is on Einstein and bringing it on Tableau. So back now, let's reopen everything and go back. Yes. And I will reshare in a second. Okay. Okay. You should be seeing now. So we need to do again, connect it again, second time. Let's test the connection and it will hopefully open. Okay, so now we can log in and connect.
This is a great demo, Rachel, because people are actually asking, how do you reconnect? I'm like, well, here we go. You can see it in real time.
This is how you reconnect. You restart everything and then it will be fine the second time.
Wonderful.
So now if it's good, that's nice, right? Now it shows that it's successfully connected. This is the output that we're expecting. That's nice. And let's just now close it and go back to where we stopped it, right? So what we were doing, we were trying to bring in our extension. So I show already the calculation. The calculation won't change. I think that the only thing that will change is that now we'll be able to bring it without an error. That is the output that I expect. So bringing in and here we go, no error this time. We have here now our prediction. And as you can see here, what the prediction is showing is basically if the size of the circle is small, the smaller the size, more is the chance that I will be delayed. So I can see here that Belgium is not doing super well, right? And of course, now that I have my prediction, I can reuse it and I can create other things based on the same prediction. So for instance, I can get an analysis here. Again, I'm using my prediction now to understand by each one of the areas that I'm delivering, what is the probability of being delayed or being on time if I'm considering the distance from the distribution point to the place where I need to deliver. And here, for instance, I can see that usually if I'm going further away, if I need to kind of cover a big distance, of course, it starts to be, the probability of being delayed starts to be bigger. I can also have a look in the impact of the weather on my delivery. So let's say that I have a beautiful sunny day. If it's a beautiful sunny day, chances are that I will deliver on time, 50% of likelihood of delivering on time. If it's beautiful but snowy day, it goes down to 26. So now I have a lot of new data here, everything using my beautiful prediction. What I can do is I can go back to my dashboard and start to bring it in. So let's get here our delivery point area, our weather. I'll get rid of my old chart. I don't need it anymore. I have better ones. And what I'll do now is, of course, this is Tableau, right? So we like to interact, and you see that same way that you would do with anything else in Tableau. If you click in something, you'll be able to interact with the rest of your data. So here I can have a look, for instance, in Belgium. And funny fact, here you can see that they are worse than average when it's sunny, but they are better than average when it's snowy. Who knows why? If there is someone from Belgium that would like to answer this question, feel free to. And I brought it all. It's beautiful, it's nice, but there is something else that I can do here. I can also bring the same interface that we have on Salesforce. I can bring it in Tableau and have this square where I have more details about my prediction, what I'm seeing on my prediction, and also have best actions. So if I get it here now and bring in an extension, and back to what Christian was showing, here we go. We have the Einstein Discovery now in the gallery. I click on it, select Einstein Discovery, and what it will do now is it will give me some options to connect to it. So first things first, get the prediction that you'd like to use, right? Select how it will work. Then you make sure that your model is connecting right to the data set that you're using, so it will be able to score it the proper way. So fields are matching, this is good. And you can give a better name for the field. So I put here that is likelihood to be delivered on time. You can check what you will be seeing. So 3 top predictors looks good. 3 improvements looks good. And then you click done. And when you do it, what it's happening now is that Tableau is connecting back to the model to bring in this information. So when it finishes, and here we go, we have now the same experience that we have on Salesforce on Tableau. So you can see here, top predictors, you have the visibility to which are the top predictors. And you have also the how to improve this. So if I go back to Belgium and I click here, what you see is that it will update now. So here is my not good likelihood to deliver on time in Belgium. And you see that in the top predictors here is now the information that we're talking about. So for instance, weather forecast is snowy is a positive thing in Belgium, while weather forecast is sunny is a negative one. How to improve it? We do have here some ideas. So for instance, you can ship using a different supplier. So Unique Logistic, that is this one here, seems to be doing better than the other ones. And you can, for instance, also use another service level. So if you go to priority mail, also you have more success. So this was what we have. I will do so recap. So if you go back here to our presentation, I will do the recap, and not only the recap, because we do have news for the future. So today we saw analytics extension how to bring in using the analytics extension. We saw how to use it in the dashboard extension. That is the one that gives you the interface. And coming soon, I won't give a number, but we do have one already, so it will be quite soon. We'll have Tableau Prep also. You see this Leroy Einstein in Tableau Prep, and we'll be able to use the same model, bring it to Prep, and discover your data sets there also. So this is what we have, the news we have in terms of artificial intelligence coming in to Tableau. And now we're open for questions if you do have any before we go ahead.
Amazing. Please join me in giving Rachel a virtual round of applause. That was incredible. Newsflash, people are very excited about Einstein Discovery. We have lots of questions. If we don't get to your question now, please join our LinkedIn community group and we will answer your question there. But I am going to answer the ones that we got the most. The first one is, how will the licensing work, and do you need a Salesforce license?
So license side, yes, you need to have Einstein Analytics that now is a Tableau CRM 1. And then we have another level of licensing that is on the Tableau side. That is a kind of, if you think about it as an add-on for a viewer or something like this. We can send more information, detailed information, and how the licensing will work, because that's new for us. Also, we saw it first time this week that it was announced. So we can share with all the partners the details about the license and how it will work.
Okay, great. Well, we're going to post that content in the LinkedIn group. So again, another great plug and reason to go there. All right, the next question is, are there any example Einstein Discovery prediction scripts? And how do we learn how to write these expressions?
So it's a click and point like Tableau in reality to do the models. You will choose what you would like to use in the model. It's a very simple interface, and then Einstein has the models behind. There is someone that I saw asking this, and I cannot find exactly where the question is, but there is someone asking about, the machine learning algorithms that are used behind it. So you do have a few options. We can also point everyone to the page, the Einstein page, because they are like us. There is a lot of information and good blog posts published about how it works and what is behind it. So we can do a kind of a quick selection and send to the partners. So you can see some reference about what is used behind, how it's calculated, and yeah, how the models are created.
Amazing. Thank you so much. To everyone else, we will answer your questions in the group. And the other question is, will this be recorded? Yes, it's being recorded, and you will all have access to it as soon as it's done. So thank you so much. But for the sake of time, I am now going to go ahead and introduce our third and final speaker today. May I introduce Mark Montanari? Mark, are you there?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. I definitely, with the accent, you will recognize I'm French, so I cannot hide that. So that's already a fact. We can move ahead with that. I'm an API enthusiast. I've been having fun using the REST API from Tableau and the API from Slack as well. So I'm always excited to have discussion around that. And I was really lucky to be selected to be IronViz supervisor for Simon. He was in the IronViz Europe 2019. That was a great experience to coach a champion on stage directly. And I'm going to start to share my screen to show you some new features that we have as well. Perfect. Can you see my screen?
We can.
Perfect. So I'm going to present about 3 features, more like user experience and data management. The first one will be about a UI change that the dev team has introduced. If you look here on the left, we have the classical Tableau 2020.4, and on the right, we have the beta version of 21.1. And basically the change in UI experience. So this is what you get when you go to the Omnibox. So the Omnibox is basically the meaning that when you start to type, you have some results coming up. That's the same that you have with Google, for example. We revamped the Omnibox to give more space to display the information, to give more detail, and to go through more content as well. So that's a great upgrade that the dev team has been doing in that extent. And that's available for data management users and non-data management users. So that's for everyone in this case. The second thing I would like to point out about this upgrade on Tableau Server is also what we've been doing in the background in the architecture. So the dev team understood that it's really important that we upgrade our game when it comes to being able to bring the best content when we want to search. You go to Google because Google always brings the best content first, and we want to do the same with Tableau. So they're doing a big architectural change in the background. They're introducing a new service called CRAS, which stands for Content Registration and Search Service. At the moment, it's only activated for data management users, and we're only targeting so far the indexion of tables, supply max, the indexion of tables, database, and files. We're targeting that first because we know it's always been quite difficult to surface the right information for those assets. So the three things that CRAS brings in particular is, one, it will put a higher priority for assets where the fields are or should be displayed to the user within the interface. It will also introduce a concept of high and low quality metadata. So for example, if any of your tables or database contain, when you search is matching the table name, obviously it will be easier. Or if it's matching a tag, which is a case here in this case, I put Supply Max as tag for Superstore and Superstore World database and files. So that will be considered a really high quality metadata. And the lowest one will be, for example, description, a column name, or a column description. And the third one will be when there is a tie break. So when you get like same level of content for the same keyword that you're using, Tableau will put a higher priority for content which has basically like here, when it has been certified or where there is more data sources or workbooks attached to that. So it's quite substantial. It's only targeting at the moment databases, files, and tables. This is a start. This is what the dev team is doing in the background, like to improve the relevancy. Most importantly, what I'm bringing that to you today, why I talk to you about like this very small feature is, obviously many of you are involved when you upgrade the environment of your clients. So what you should expect is a dual indexing of the content between Elasticsearch and between Solr. So Solr is a process that you will see appearing as search and browse. What we have been seeing internally for our test is when you upgrade, for the time, for the phase of the upgrade, which is part of the indexing, this will increase by 25% for non-data management environment. And this will increase by 100% for data management environment. So that's something you should keep in mind. And that's the same if for any reason with your client, you decide to use the command line to reindex the content. So that's better to do that during non-business hours in this case. Second feature, data quality warning. We're bringing more into that. So just to remind everyone, what is a data quality warning? Here you can see this published data source. We already have 2 data quality warning. One has been added by Benjamin for sensitive data information on the table called order facts, and the other one is by Sami for under maintenance warning for the table called order dimension. So those one have been added at the level of the tables, as you can see. So if I navigate to table in the lineage, they will be here. So that means we're actually informing downstream about this warning. But what clients been asking basically since we introduced data quality warning is, what about if we actually add automatically, proactively, quality warnings when an extract is not refreshing or prep flow is fading. So that's what we brought in the product. Here you can see this this prep flow, which is supposedly having to refresh every weekday at 2 a.m. and it failed basically today. And we basically added automatically this failure quality warning. So we can see it. So it's under my name because I was the user who basically set up this information. And it's already brought to me. And it appears for any user who are going to use downstream assets. So here in this case, if I go and show you the flow, so the flow is this one, the health metrics flow, which is feeding the workbooks that we have at the moment. So we're showing directly downstream to any user. So that's very handy. So we don't need to proactively look, is this data set actually refreshed because it doesn't look right. How to set up that? Very easy. You click on the ellipsis, quality warning. We have the classical quality warnings that you can add. So the example of Benjamin and Sami, but also flow, run, monitoring. You just have to enable the enabling high visibility means like when you open a specific workbook where there is this warning, you will have the banner at the top. And the message, I left it empty at the moment, which means Tableau populates automatically and says the output I've been failing to run, but you can obviously customize. So this is brought for prep flows and for extract refreshes in this case. And most importantly, we want to bring that automatically. So that's going to be available through the REST API to set up this one. Last feature to introduce is the unified notification experience. For example, I was telling you about we have a quality warning that this prep flow didn't refresh. And you want to be sure that either owners of this prep flow, also site admin and server admin are informed about that. And you want to centralize this information. And that's the same that you want to inform your users when they receive a sharing from other users about the dashboard or they receive a comment on a specific dashboard. So we've been doing also in this case a lot of architectural change, put in place message bus architecture, and we redesigned the experience in terms of notification. So when I was speaking about the prep flow, so this is an example that you will be displayed, as well as here, like we have a mention on the specific workbook from another user called API user. So we have 4 types of notification at the moment that's going to be extended obviously in the future. So prep flow, extracts, notification, and sharing in this case. So that's very essential because we want to centralize all this information. And obviously in the future that give us a lot of possibility in terms of like leveraging third-party tools, doing email digest, like daily digest that you receive, or also mobile push notification potentially in the future. So that's going to be very handy functionality. So to summarize, before we go to the Q&A, so we have the updated Omnibox search experience here, the underlying search engine which is being upgraded, the flow and extract data quality warning, and the unified notification experience. So now if we have some questions.
Great, thank you so much. So we have just about 5 minutes left. We have some great questions for you. While we're answering questions, I am going to go ahead and put a link in the chat. And this is to our survey. It is a 1-question survey. Your feedback is so crucial to when and how we ask you to join sessions like this one. So if you can take a minute, click on the link, fill out that 1-question survey. We so appreciate it. While they're doing that, Mark, you got a couple of great questions. The first one is, will this be a part of the REST API?
Yeah, so you will be able to programmatically basically add for a specific flow, a specific extract, this feature.
Okay, so you heard it here from the API King. The next question is, which I think you answered, but I just want to make sure, how many different types of notifications are going to be available in 2021.1?
Yeah, so at the moment, so we have 4 of them. full notification. So sharing, if someone decides to share a content with you, you will receive. The second one is the comment that you receive in any visualization. And the last two are about basically extract and prep flow. So if they're failing or if there is an error in the refresh here.
Great. And the last question is my favorite, which is what is the next topic on Tableau Demo Club? So for those of you who don't know, for those of you who don't know, Mark is the mastermind between our Tableau Demo Club, which I will post a link in the chat as well. If you're not joining Demo Club, you are missing out. These are stellar demos. They're completely packaged up for you that you can literally lift and shift, and they're incredible. So your people want to know, what is the topic for the next Demo Club?
I don't have the topic yet, but we're working. We're working on it. Yeah, there is already good demo in the pipeline that we're thinking.
Okay, great.
But,
well, if you have
we'll
suggestions for Mark and his amazing team of supporters, what topics you want to be, let us know in our LinkedIn group, and we will get on that. So, with that being said, I will say a huge thank you, Rachel, Christian, and Mark. You are all the creme de la creme. You have presented simply, beautifully, and clearly some of the brand new features of 2021.1. Partners, 2021.1 launches formally to the world on March 15th, and you guys just got a great preview of what's to come. We're going to be posting lots of links and resources in our group. You should also be receiving them by email from our marketing team. So I would also encourage all of you to take your product release rundown. So that will also be coming out to you. There's a sales version. There's also a technical version. So pick the one that is best for you. But it is one of the greatest ways to really master and get your hands on some of these new topics. Thank you for filling out the survey. Have a wonderful day. Christian, Mark, Rachel, thank you so much. We'll see you all next time.